What a game and what a win for the San Francisco 49ers over the Minnesota Vikings, really improving their playoff stock in the NFC. You're watching the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Chase Sr. To all of you who joined us for our watch party, thank you. We picked up more than 700 subscribers, and coming up during our post-game show, going to give you some more information as to how you can get some fresh 49ers gear like this, thanks to our friends at Ultra Game. Final score of 34-26 over the Minnesota Vikings. With the win, San Francisco moves atop ahead of the Vikings in the NFC playoff standings with a record of 6-5. Vikings slide back to 5-6. A whole bunch to break down in this game, but really to sum it all up, in the second half, it was highly entertaining with both teams going back and forth. We were really riding the seesaw with a bunch of points scored in that third quarter, but San Francisco, toward the end of this game, really able to display their dominance and take this game over in the trenches, especially with that ground game, which was incredibly dominant. Want to take a look at the NFC playoff picture before we get to this Deebo Samuel injury news. 49ers with a win right in the thick of things in the NFC playoff picture. They move and improve their record to 6-5. The Los Angeles Rams, Matthew Stafford threw yet another pick six, his third game in a row in which he's done that, right ahead of the 49ers. So really in the NFC West, this is becoming very, very intriguing after the first place Arizona Cardinals, who sit atop the NFC at 9-2, followed by the Packers at 9-3. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 8-3. The Cowboys, despite that loss on Thanksgiving, drop back to 7-4, and really the 49ers, with how they're playing, 3 wins in a row, 4 of their last 5, how they've been able to take over games in a dominant fashion, are in the mix, and I consider them to be a legitimate playoff team and threat in this conference right now. Before we continue to break this game down, Niner Gang, I know you're fired up, and in addition to hitting that thumbs up icon and liking the video to show that you're pumped up about this 49ers win, give me your one-word reaction to this victory for San Francisco. Drop those one-word reactions in the comment section down below. This is going to be the pinned comment, so if you get hit with that YouTube ad break, just scroll on down and get your votes in. My one-word reaction is really San Francisco was dominant in many phases of this game. They gave up that 99-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. Mitch Wishnowsky got crossed over like an Allen Iverson cross. But other than that, San Francisco, when they needed to, was very good on defense. They came through with that crucial 4th and goal stop to really lock this game down. And offensively, after Jimmy Garoppolo was up and down, and in my opinion, pretty bad in the early portion of this game, the Niners offense as a whole and Jimmy Garoppolo as an individual, they were able to settle down, really find that momentum, and they were just dominant, thrashing Minnesota for 208 rushing yards. And in the guts of the game, when the Niners needed to salt this one away, Minnesota knew that Kyle Shanahan and the Niners offense were going to run the football. Didn't matter. San Francisco was able to run it right down their throats. My one reaction, just really a dominant showing from San Francisco in a crucial game with playoff implications to rise up. Bravo to this franchise. My other takeaways from this game, really just a hell of a win considering what was at stake, considering all of the struggles that San Francisco has had at the unfriendly confines of Levi Stadium, which are now friendly confines because the Niners have won back-to-back games in Santa Clara. The Niners right now look to me as a legit team because of the way that they can win games in a multitude of fashions, how they can take over games in the ground game, with Jimmy Garoppolo playing an efficient brand of football, overcoming that slow start, and the coach and Kyle Shanahan just being in his bag for really a month-long stretch here. We've seen vast improvements defensively under first-year defensive coordinator DeMeco Ryans, which is what you want to see from an inexperienced defensive coordinator. And offensively, the Niners have really been able to find an identity during this 3-game win streak, having lost 4 of 5. Really, for the last month and a half, they've played a very good brand of football. They've won the turnover battle, which is something that they have solved on the offensive side of the rock. Kyle Shanahan's run game is really just elite. Kyle Shanahan is really the only coach in the NFL who can make running the football look entertaining and fun. And when the opposing defense knows it's coming and you can still do it, goes to show you the dominance of this offensive line, even when they're without a guy like Mike McGlinchey at right tackle. And folks, my last takeaway, I really think we have ourselves a football team here. this style of football translates into the playoffs. And you look at the NFC playoff picture, as we just showed you, I think the Niners stack up with a lot of the teams in the conference. And any given Sunday, great movie, by the way, producer Jack Lauderay, a film critic, knows all about that. Any given Sunday, San Francisco can be victorious if they play their game, play to their strengths, and play a clean brand of football when they don't turn the football over. So with that, I ask you this during our post-game show, live on the 49ers Report. Grade the 49ers' performance against the Minnesota Vikings for me. A, B, C, D, or F. Be sure to get those votes in the comment section down below. I'm going to check back to see what you all come up with. Today's presenting sponsor of the 49ers Report is Ultra Game. We want to welcome with open arms Ultra Game as a new sponsor here on the channel. The holiday season is here. Why not treat yourself, a loved one, or a friend with some really fresh 49ers gear? And you can do so with our friends at Ultra Game, especially this hoodie that I'm rocking right here. Chatsports.com/49 hoodie will allow you to cop that. I don't know, who looks like the better model, myself or this guy right here? I'm going with Chase Sr., especially because we got the 49ers Report to 45,000 subscribers today. In all seriousness, though, this is officially licensed NFL merchandise. Get yourself this hoodie by going to chatsports.com/49 hoodie. That information is in the description as well as the comment section of this video. Want to pivot to Elijah Mitchell. And by the way, that Deebo Samuel injury update, Adam Schefter tweeting out that it is a groin strain, and he is going to be undergoing testing on Monday, according to Kyle Shanahan. But first, let's talk about Elijah Mitchell. I really think the 49ers have something here in a bell cow running back with excellent vision. And not every running back has great vision like Elijah Mitchell does. You can look at some of these running backs and you can look at the physical attributes of these guys being bell cows at 6 foot, 200 pounds, just absolute physical specimens. You can look at their 40 time or some of the other athletic testing numbers and not get blown away. Elijah Mitchell, what stands out to me and everybody out there is just his vision. Every time he gets his hands on the football, he makes something positive happen, even when it looks like it's going to be a negative gain or a neutral gain. Elijah Mitchell somehow, with that special vision, which is really uncanny and a special trait, is able to pick up positive yardage. And the 49ers, once again, able to rely on him, and he comes through coming off that finger surgery, which allowed him to miss last week's game against the Jags. 27 carries, 133 yards, a touchdown, average yards per carry of 4.9, a big reason why San Francisco was able to run for more than 200 yards in the game against a defensive specialist head coach in Mike Zimmer, by the way. As for Jimmy Garoppolo, he was bad to start this game. There's no other way to put it. Jimmy Garoppolo was off. He was inaccurate. He was throwing the football high. Kyle Shanahan even said after the game that his lone interception, in addition to that touchdown, absolutely inexcusable to Harrison Smith. It was. But Garoppolo settled down. He found a groove. That drive before halftime, another long Kyle Shanahan specialty, was really impressive, and it was Jimmy Garoppolo, kind of serving as the captain of that drive. 17 to 26 on the day, 230 yards, a touchdown, and 1 interception. It's all about how you really respond, and if you have that mental fortitude to respond. Jimmy G did have that. He's played in a bunch of big games, and he displayed that today. As for Deebo Samuel, he has surpassed the 1,000-yard receiving mark. He is also the first wide receiver in the history of the NFL to have 6 rushing touchdowns in a single season. A lot of people wanted to fire Kyle Shanahan back several weeks ago. A big reason why people call him, like me, an offensive genius, an offensive mastermind, just finding a way to scheme guys open, but also put the ball in the hands of your best playmakers. And that's what he's done with Deebo Samuel, utilizing him as a running back. He was only targeted a couple of times through the pass game, but on the ground, this guy continues to prove why he's one of the best overall all-around weapons across the entire National Football League. 6 carries, 66 yards, an average yards per carry of 11, which is crazy when you consider this. When he's in the backfield, chances are he's getting the football. Opposing defenses still can't stop him. 2 touchdowns in addition to that. More reporting on Deebo Samuel. This coming from Matt Barrows of The Athletic. Kyle Shanahan said Deebo Samuel will have more tests on his groin tomorrow. The initial sense was that it is not a serious tear. An MRI will reveal the severity. Adam Schefter also saying that Deebo Samuel is going to undergo tests on Monday. So if this 49ers offense is without him going into next week against a Seahawks team that's desperate for a win, that's going to be a big loss for the 49ers. Deebo Samuel, since he came into the league out of South Carolina, has dealt time to time with some of these soft tissue injuries. We'll, of course, keep you updated here on the channel. Before I get out of here, so many people to choose from among those who played very well today and those who can be the 49ers MVP. Elijah Mitchell, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk had almost 100 yards receiving. Jawan Jennings came through in the clutch. I thought Azeez Al-Shaair, Jimmy Ward, even Josh Norman came through from time to time. Nick Bosa with another sack, his 11th of the year. Let me know who your 49ers MVP was today in this game. And before we get out of here, another reminder, subscribe to the channel. Free daily videos, live shows every Tuesday. We did a watch party today in which we picked up more than 700 subscribers. I took my shirt off to celebrate because I made a joke at the start of the broadcast that if we got the 45K subs, I'd go shirtless. We did because the Niner Gang is the best, and if the Niner Gang wants the best coverage, we got you covered here on the 49ers Report. Hit that red subscribe button down below or go to youtube.com/49erstv. Overreactions, more videos coming on Monday and throughout the week. We're killing it here on the channel. Niners are killing it. The fans are killing it as well. Appreciate all of you for tuning in.